hope you guys are doing well, managing the many changes that are happening right now, and still finding a way to walk your path in your own light. I've been taking a lot of time to integrate a lot of the changes that have been happening and to integrate the energies that are coming in. And hopefully by now you've realized that the world is changing. I hope you've seen that the world is changing, and it's changing rapidly. And if you are having a hard time dealing with these changes, it's important that we get into a state of acceptance that this is going to continue and that everything is going to change, and that the easiest way to get through these changes is to just accept that it's going to happen. Everything above us, everything below us, everything within the earth, everything within ourselves, everything is going to change everywhere rapidly. There's been a lot of downloads and a lot of facing old parts of the self, especially for me in the dream state. A lot of my old ways of being that I'm coming face to face with in dream time. It's allowing me the space to work that out. Sometimes your dream space, especially when you have those dreams that are triggering, it allows you to resolve a lot of unresolved emotions, feelings, things that we especially like meeting old partners or meeting deceased loved ones, going to places that you may have unresolved issues in an old home, or whatever space the dream space creates for you is giving you the opportunity to work some issues out. So if you find that in the next coming months, or even right now, you may be experiencing that, where you're gonna come into contact with a lot of people or places to work out unresolved issues, you might find that you are going to wake up from your dream state triggered and lingered. You're going to be lingering with emotions and feelings from that experience. It's just meant to bring up those very suppressed, repressed feelings that you probably don't make time for in this real space, or that you don't even realize existed. So you might have like a conversation with a deceased loved one about some wrong that they did to you or you felt was done to you, and the dream space might give you the opportunity to resolve that issue. Even if you don't resolve it in the dream, you wake up lingering with the emotions, and that gives you the opportunity to resolve it. Because in your day-to-day, you probably wouldn't even think to go there with that feeling or that emotion. So a lot of things are going to get stirred up in the dream space to show you what you still have left to resolve. And just kind of take it as that opportunity. Try not to go into the details of how the person or the situation wronged you, or why you're still mad about this. Try to come at it from the perspective of, okay, this is an opportunity for me to resolve something I can't change, right? Some things that occur with us and to us that we're still angry about, hurt about, are not things that we can change. And so in that way, we have to come to a state of acceptance, because everything is evolving and everything is going to push us to evolve. And evolution does not occur without change. We are beings that were created to evolve. Every single thing in existence evolves. Thinking evolves, right? Abilities evolve, plants evolve, animals evolve, nature evolves, the earth evolves. the universe evolves, we evolve. It's inevitable. The natural state of being is evolution. And so every single thing about us has to enter into a state of evolution, which is change. And that is a part of life, a part of nature, a part of living, a part of existing. Nothing stays the same. So if we've been holding on to a lot of pain, anger, unresolved emotions, issues with other people that we just can't seem to get over, everything is going to push us and trigger us to evolve that way of thinking and that way of being. And it's going to become very uncomfortable if we don't enter into a state of acceptance first, because it's going to happen anyway. It just depends on whether or not it becomes a shift or a change or an evolution that you can enjoy, or if it's going to be something that, you're going to be dragged kicking and screaming to make this shift. And the more we can do that within ourselves, the more we can accept the changes that are occurring outside of us, right? So there's a lot going on in the news, a lot going on in the media, a lot going on with the climate, the weather, just a lot going on that is revealing to us just how much things are getting ready to change and shift. And if those things are scary for you, then the best way to resolve that fear is to start to work on the changes within yourself and allow and accept those changes to come and to be. And then the changes outside of you, your workplace, your family life, the economy, right? Law, whatever legal, regular, everyday troubles that affect us, that seem to be going through their changes now, it becomes easier to accept when we have accepted the changes within ourselves. But oftentimes we spend so much time focusing on that big macro picture, and the reality is we really can't change that. There's a lot that's going to happen outside of us we can't change, and that can put us in a state of perpetual discomfort if we're continuously trying to change those things that we cannot change. So the best thing to do, speaking from experience, is to work on the changes within yourself. Allow those changes to come up. Allow those reflections to exist. Accept that you're going to be evolving. And then once you do that, the outside changes become easier to deal with. So work on your changes in your thought patterns, your behaviors. How do you treat yourself? How do you treat other people? Have you released your judgments, your anger? Have you forgiven? Have you been able to just accept the things that you can't change in your life? But know that when you make the best decision for you in those moments, that's you accepting your evolution. Accept that you are going to evolve as a living being, and that when you make a choice from that space, knowing that it's change and evolution occurring for you, everything else becomes easier to deal with. You literally start to see the world differently when you have accepted change within yourself to be the best version that you can be. All the things that used to trigger you before, the employers, the co-workers, your family members, your spouses, your children, anything that triggers you becomes a little bit easier to manage, to handle, when you've accepted and you're focusing on the changes within your own being. So that's a message that wanted to come through. Another part of the message that wants to come through as well is trying to release the judgment. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to that are going to be awakened to share their message. And we have to remember that the message they share is what's real for them. It does not necessarily mean it's real for you. We all have multiple realities. This is a world of realities in reality. So when people come forward with messages, for example, even me, I'm going through changes in my own life. I get my own guidance. I share my guidance, but it's still my reality, my world, and my entire world and makeup is completely different from yours. We can pull inspiration and we can resonate with each other, but we have to realize that what's most important is that we deal with the reality that we're actually facing. And so sometimes when people bring forward their realities, we judge it because it's not ours. Well, it doesn't mean just because it's different that there's not still some key, some clue, some breadcrumb that's there for us. And if we're able to look past the judgment of who's delivering the message, how they're delivering the message, that we can actually pick up the keys that are there for us. So a big part of navigating these changes as well is to release judgment of the way we see and view others, the way we see and view ourselves, because there's important keys and wisdom being delivered to us in mass right now. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot that's being made available for us, and that's why there's so much distraction at the same time, because anytime there's a lot of wisdom coming in, okay, the ancestors, the sun, the galactic beings, the energetic beings, the animals, the plants, consciousness as a whole is delivering to us a lot of wisdom right now. And that goes hand in hand with the distraction. Because there is so much information available to us, there's also the increase of distraction to prevent us from receiving that. So one of the things you want to do is get into a space of being receptive, understanding your own resonance. When you do that, you're able to release the judgment about how certain information comes to you. You might not like who delivers the message, but if the message is good, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away just because you don't like who it's coming from. So if you have a friend that gives you advice and you don't really like the person like that, or you have a boss that might say something to you and you don't really like them, don't judge the messenger and ignore the message. Look past who's delivering the message to you and see if you resonate with it. That's the only thing that's important right now, because the universe is going to use anything, everything to deliver to you the breadcrumbs so you can wake up. And if you judge how it shows up, you're missing your own wisdom. You see what I'm saying? This is your inheritance here. Returning to wisdom is your inheritance. You were never meant to exist without knowing who you are. So if you don't know who you are, where you're from, why you're here, you left yourself breadcrumbs, people, places, situations, circumstances that were always going to show up to trigger you into awakening. If as those breadcrumbs start showing up for you, your judgment gets in the way of receiving it, you're turning your back on your own inheritance, because you have not, or we have not evolved past judgment. So a big part of gaining what's yours, so that you can come into the full awareness of who you are as a highly energetic light being that is beyond the day-to-day circumstances of this world. You're way beyond that. You're more powerful than that. you're such a powerful creator that this stuff shouldn't even faze you. This is just a gnat in your face, right? All the day-to-day stuff that seem like they're really, really huge. If you were in true awareness of who you were, this stuff wouldn't even faze you. It wouldn't. But we have to come into the realization of who we are first. And one of the biggest ways, one of the major ways that I'm being guided to do that is to release the judgment of self. So don't judge yourself and how you react and respond to things, because you're still a human being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience, but the human experience is still real. But if you can see yourself as the spiritual, creative, powerful being that you are, the human process becomes a little easier to manage, right? There's a lot about the human process that won't be so scary or stressful, depressing, because you understand why it's happening and you're following your guidance about what you need to do to find balance in that. So one of the biggest things, release the judgment. Focus only on the message and whether or not it resonates with you. Don't pay attention to who's delivering it. Don't pay attention to the words they use to deliver it. Connect with yourself, understand your own energy, follow your inner guidance, and when you come into the presence of truth, you will feel it 100%, and you won't have to wonder, I don't know, I can't trust this person, I don't know if what I'm hearing is real, I don't know if I believe that. You bypass all of those things. So you jump that huge hurdle and you simply go with resonance. And when I'm saying resonance, it's something you will feel deep within you. It's not something you have to you're not thinking resonance. You're feeling resonance. And everything in your body wakes you up that this is truth and it's true for you. So that's the information I was guided to bring through today. As always, these are messages for me. And I'm just sharing them with you. This is a conversation my guides are having with me. I watch my own videos. Probably half the time I'm the only one watching my own videos, but I'm guided to do it this way because this is how I overcome my fear. This is how I gain my confidence. And this is how I evolve. This is how I go through the changes. And this is how my guidance and my breadcrumbs have led me to two of the main things that have helped me to perceive the world differently and to move through this natural evolution with a little bit more ease, which is to accept that the change is occurring because it's natural. It's a natural state of being to evolve and to change, and to release the judgment about how it looks for me, how it looks for other people, and how the messages, inspiration, wisdom, guidance shows up. It shows up in many forms. Other people, animals, cloud formation. So if you're somebody that you like watching the clouds, sometimes you'll get your information from the way the clouds are shaped. You might start to see symbols and numbers more frequently that it shifts something for you because you're paying attention to it, and it you can't quite tell what it's doing to you, but it's doing something when you're constantly seeing these images, formations, numbers all over the place. That is the universe leading you and showing you the breadcrumbs that you've left for yourself. So I hope that you continue to evolve with grace and balance and love, always underlying everything you do. Let love be there. Let love be a part of that ingredient more than anything. For yourself first. Acceptance of yourself, love for yourself, non-judgment for yourself. And you start to see the world very differently after you engage in that with yourself first. You'll begin to see the world in an extremely different light, and all the stressful, depressing things that are occurring, you start to look at with a different sense of self, because then you would have been changed. And once you're changed, all the external situations that were originally difficult to deal with, they end up changed as well. So I hope this brings some light to your world. It did to me. It's seemingly so simple, right? Non-judgment, acceptance, but it proves a little bit more difficult as you try to apply it literally. But love always, blessings to you always, peace, harmony within yourself. Pay attention to the signs you're given. Okay, don't ignore them. All right. Love you guys. Bye.